Alright. Previously on Dread Delusion, we went to steampunk bureaucracy land, where there's a whole lot of that. And it turns out that they built themselves a god, and the god they made, the AI god that they made, is glitching out, and reality is not doing so well. So now it is time to return. I really like the look of Ferropolis. I mean, I've mentioned before, I like everything about this part of the game. Almost everything. I guess we did talk about how some of the presentation of some of the scenes is not quite the most, I guess, not quite the most cinematic, because it was all text-based, but still. I know how to read. I'm a literate boy. So, let's see. What is it? Yeah, so we had to go to the object graveyard as our next stop, which is right there. Hello, Alex. Sorry, I just noticed your message. Howdy to you as well. Are you ready for more spider tanks? Or spider trains? Right, so yeah, Afra, whose name is the same as that one doctor from the Marvel Vader comics, and also is a real name, I believe, although I don't know it in other contexts, is the one person who's willing to help try to diagnose and fix what's wrong with the glitching god. I've already been up here? I feel like I have. I have, yeah. I'm eating burger, so maybe quiet these first 10 minutes or so. That's quite alright. Simply knowing that you're here is comfort enough for my... I was gonna say ears, but obviously I'm reading your message in chat and not hearing your voice, so... That's a... I guess that I guess that door is that size for, like, vehicles or something to get in, but that lock... Man, I'm basically shrunken in Wonderland right here. Alright. Now, I know what that is, but technically I shouldn't, so... Let's just talk to you. Welcome to the graveyard, pal. What brings you all the way out here? This doesn't look like any graveyard I've seen. Funny sort of gravestones, ain't they? This is where they keeps the things the Clockwork King makes what no one else can find a use for. Teapots, chess sets, bathtubs, grand pianos. It all ends up here. Some things, nobody even knows what they are. Why its majesty makes them, I couldn't tell you. There's plenty of stuff people'd give their left arms for that ain't getting built. That's not for me to question the logic of our king. Was there aught else? I'm here on official business, actually. Blimey! Blimey, you mean someone's actually been reading my reports? Better late than never, I suppose. Probably should have tried this accent earlier. It's these yellow boxes, see? We've had 'em for years, but even the King's Speaker herself couldn't make head or tail of 'em. Told me to look after 'em till they're needed. That'll be the day. Well, a fair few ticks ago, some of the boxes started talking, and now they won't shut up. You know, Yeah, I feel myself slipping into Australian. I should know by now to not try accent work. Weird stuff. Music sometimes. Mind I knows better than to listen. You know what? Yeah, I'll stick with Australian. Maybe you could take a look. Most of the boxes here don't talk. You'll have to listen closely if you want to find the right ones. Was there aught else? He's definitely supposed to be Cockney. Alright. Oh, here we are. Hello? Inside the yellow box is a mechanical console with something like an ear trumpet hanging on a curly wire. Tinny noises issue from its mouth. So the Clockwork King has brought telephone booths into this world, but no one knows what telephones are, if I'm remembering right. Pick up the trumpet and listen. You pick up the trumpet and put it to your ear. Your brain is flooded by a cacophony of jagged noise. Then, you realize it's some kind of otherworldly music. The music throbs in an alien time signature, defying your attempts to track its rhythm. Ghostly, inhuman voices lap over each other like waves. It feels like a memory from before the universe was made. Probably playing, Caretaker music. The Caretaker music. This doesn't seem like the King's message. You'll have to try one of the other boxes. I've never actually done the whole listen to, what is it, Everywhere at the End of Time? Is that the one that's the dementia one? I've listened to An Empty Bliss Beyond This World a whole bunch, but not the 6-hour dementia one. 6-hour dementia simulator. You pick up the trumpet and put it to your ear. You can hear two people in soft conversation, their voices echoing as if from the other end of a long stone passage. There now, it'll be all right. How is it going to be all right? Lydia's just gone and nobody remembers. I feel like my brain is melting and running out of my ears. I know. All I mean is we've got each other and I ain't going nowhere. A pause. I was washing up today. Did you ever notice how many dishes we have? Enough for 5 people, not 2. Well, it helps to have extra, don't it? You know we can't afford more of anything than we need. We had an extra bed, too, before we sold it, and that cot. This doesn't seem like the King's message. No, it actually seems like 2 people whose child disappeared had their mind wiped from that child, mid-conversation. I suppose it was nice to have guests around. Before all this, I mean. And do you remember ever having guests? How many people used to live in this house, Quasi? A long pause. I don't know. No, me neither. There is a long silence, and then a series of odd little wet sounds. Oi, oi, what are you doing? Sorry, should I stop? Oh, no, it's kissing. My mind jumped to violence. Moment of, you really want to star 2B, don't you, 9S? You hear grateful sighs, a giggle, then a loving moan. You quickly put the trumpet down before you hear any more. Yeah, so, oi, what are you doing? That, yeah. More of a playful line read should be there. Oh man, I'm lower on lockpicks than I thought. You pick up the trumpet and put it to your ear. An old man's voice echoes from the other end. Hello? Hello, can anyone hear me? I don't know where I am. Please. It's cold. Yes, I can hear you. The old man doesn't seem to be able to hear you. I can't see anything. I can't feel my body. Is anyone there? Hello? Please, if anyone's there, say something. You know, man, if you'd have been erased just, like, half an hour of in-game time, and, you know, like a week, 2 weeks earlier in real lifetime, then maybe I would have seen you when I was wandering that cold other dimension that was only described in text boxes. This does not seem like the King's message. At first, you just hear hissing, and then the tune that Afra hummed. A genderless voice announces with mechanical regularity. 6, 1, 6, 3, 2, break, 5, 2, 6, alder, bantam, 2, break, 4, 6. The voice drones on and then repeats. This must be the king's message. You scribble down everything you can, then replace the trumpet. It's a very cool set piece. Yeah, it is, Alex. And one that does, fit the presentational style a little bit better than having to describe that cold dimension, all through text instead of letting us see any of it. It's a whirlwind of noise, chattering voices, snatches of song, weird mechanical screeches. At one point, you hear your own name. You hurriedly replace the trumpet. Got anything new to say now that I've, were you able to figure anything out of those yellow boxes? Seems like they've gone quiet. I guess whatever you did worked, eh? I guess. So the quest... There's a separate quest that we picked up last time to figure out what's going on with the missing daughter of that one guy. And that quest is actually related to this one, so I figure we'll stop by that before going back to see Afra. We need to refit this graveyard into a monastery full of monks listening to all these calls. I'm assuming that's a reference to something else, but I don't recall what that is, Alex. I feel like monastery of monks listening to like phone calls is a very specific kind of reference that I am blanking on. Let's see, is this the... Is this the tower, or is it... No, I don't think this is it. I think we've already been to this one. Or maybe not. Not knowingly, I just think it would be cool. Okay, I see. So you're extrapolating how a society that doesn't have these sorts of phones might react to, like, sort of try to build something to better understand it. Which, yeah, that would be a cool escalation of the premise. Feels very Hitchhiker's Go, though. Yeah, in some ways it does. I think it's a bit... I mean, Hitchhikers, especially in certain parts, has its own moments of melancholia, but I think this is especially melancholic to a degree that isn't quite what Hitchhikers is going for, but yeah, the idea of, a graveyard of telephone booths where you can listen on people's conversations, certainly, yes, that would fit right in. Okay, I think that, yeah, this must be the tower that I was trying to get to. Okay, what was his name? The guy who was super drunk who threw the bottle at us because his daughter was missing from last time. This is where he told us to go. This woman is in late middle age, perfectly inconspicuous but for her bright red lipstick. Not depicted on her character model. She looks up from a stack of papers to inspect you through half-moon glasses, also not depicted on her character model. Can I help you, dearie? Do try to keep your voice down. The mechapeds are provoked by sound. Sorry, the what? Mechapeds, dearie. They stay snuggled away most of the time. If I were to scream, they'd come scurrying out hungry for blood, but I'm sure you wouldn't give me any cause for that, Now, can I help you find anything? Is this the Library of Untruths by any chance? She looks at you over her spectacles. The Library of what? That certainly doesn't sound like a real place, dearie. If such a place did exist, you wouldn't be allowed there, and if so, And so, if this was it, you'd have to leave, but, she smiles sweetly at you, it doesn't, and this isn't, so you're fine. Uh-huh. Hold up 3 fingers. Quick question, how many fingers am I holding up? Is this a game, dearie? I confess I don't know the rules. 3 fingers, of course. Show her Oleg's locket. Does this change your answer? She frowns. What's this? Did Oleg send you? Damn it, I've already told him. I know nothing about any... Her eyes catch the locket, and suddenly she can't look away. Locket. So you do recognize it. I've never seen this locket in my life, except why does it feel so... She takes it gingerly, feeling it in her hands. It'd be darkly funny if you just had an option to scream after being told that. Well, I did. It just didn't, it didn't say scream in brackets, but it did have the question mark exclamation point. I just decided not to, not to aggravate her. Although, I'd probably be hurt more than she would if I did that. She shoves the locket back at you. Please leave. Tell that drunken bloody oaf I want nothing to do with him, and I'm not... She slams her fist on the desk to emphasize her point, prompting a chorus of mechanical chitters from the ceiling. So hold on 1 second. There we go. The librarian sighs and lowers her voice to a sharp whisper. As I said, I'm not rescinding my petition. Sorry, what petition do you mean? Our divorce petition. Isn't that why Oleg sent you? We've been waiting more than a year now for Its Majesty's ruling. Unfortunately, there's a backlog. You misunderstand. I'm looking for Oleg's missing child. It sounds like your missing child as well. She listens to your explanation with growing alarm. But that's preposterous. That can't be right. I know that isn't... Her eyes return inexorably to the locket. King's mercy. It's true, isn't it? She looks back at you, seemingly on the verge of tears. I apologize for my, outburst. I'm a little taken aback. You see, it's my child, too. Listen, I can't help you. This is just an ordinary library, you see? There's nothing here about any missing child, and I am authorized to help you with whatever you need. Do you understand? Wink. Wink. Wait, are you lying right now? I get it, you're enchanted so you can't talk about this place. She gives you a meaningful look. Don't be absurd. There used to be a librarian here who could only lie, but she turned into a dragon and flew away. So what is this place really? She thinks for a moment. Everything stored here is absolutely true, see? And it always was. Whatever you may have heard about the king being able to edit people out of reality is complete nonsense. If that was happening, everyone would certainly notice. And of course, there would be no record of it. How can you keep records of something that never existed? I can't imagine why the machinists would ever need something like that. Sorry I couldn't be of more help, dearie. Is there anything you are allowed to talk about? Whatever do you mean? Naturally, I can tell you the basic facts about this library, such as how to access documents. And no one will mind if we chat about our own lives, or the weather, or such like. I just can't discuss any hidden purpose to the library or some spooky enchantment I might be under, because, of course, neither thing exists. If there were any record of your child, how would I find it? Well, since neither I nor Oleg can remember the child, it stands to reason that they never existed. And if they never existed, there couldn't be any record, certainly not here. Anyway, there's no way to access the reading room upstairs without a royal permit. No way at all. Could you imagine if it was something as simple as a hidden lever? Her gaze briefly darts down under her desk. She yawns theatrically. Oh dear, I'm feeling rather tired. You'll behave yourself if I rest my eyes for a moment, won't you? Reach over her desk for the hidden lever. Your fingers quest around underneath the lip of her desk until they find something that clicks. Upstairs you hear a mechanical door clank open. Don't worry, you've been very helpful. Thank you, dearie. It's, Genevieve, by the way. My name. Genevieve Mishkin. I don't know why, but I felt you should know that. Don't worry, if you end up suddenly erased from existence, I will try to remember that. This is about Vela Colos's crew member who we're looking for, who is supposedly dead. Deemed a traitor to the realm of the Clockwork Kingdom. evidently. Ooh. Okay, well, time for gambling again. Oh, nice, second try. Played a murder mystery game with memory loss of the victims as a major aspect. That's interesting, Alex. What is it? Pray tell. Prithee, elaborate. Oh, good. More lockpicks. Right, and here we go. Here is the records that don't exist. The machine thrums with sorcery. A quill is tethered to it by a silver chain. Welcome to the Library of Untruths. Please inscribe thy query. Beware, unsanctioned access is punishable by controlled annihilation. Show me your file on Genevieve, Michigan. The incident at Galley House. I'll try to look that up, Alex. Show me your file at on Genevieve, Michigan. Wheels and gears begin to spin. Below your feet you hear the library pulling up scrolls to be loaded into the machine. Pondering. Alas, cannot summon Codex. Record of fault. Codex not sanctioned for this installation. Only redacted subjects are listed in this archive. Descrying related codices. Genevieve Elodie Mishkin, Branch 1. Igor Suleimanovich Mishkin. Show me your file on Genevieve Mishkin, Branch 1. True name... Hold on. I should look up. I gotta pull up the Roman numeral reader because I am not a classics expert. As if it really matters. So the true name is a number, though. That is interesting. That it considers that. All right, CMLIII is 953. Common name, Genevieve Elodie Mishkin, Branch 1. Birth date, Ante-Rex 17. Month 5, day 5. Birthplace, Saint Void, Apostatic Republic of Bion. Status, redacted. I get lost at numerals past L. I get lost... past, I think, 50. Because I'm not sure what the... Not sure what the numeral for 50 is. Show me a list of this person's relatives. Genevieve Elodie Mishkin, Branch 0, status alive. Oleg Igorovich Mishkin, spouse, status alive. Galet Olegovna Mishkin, first child, status deceased at birth. 50 is L? Okay. And C is 100, isn't it? Alright, so Genevieve and Oleg's first child died at birth. Indira Olegovna Mishkin, second child, status deceased, age 7, pox. There's one more entry which somehow didn't appear in your initial search. Alas, cannot conjure verse, third child, status, alas, cannot conjure verse. Tell me more about Genevieve's history. Year 20, branch created by order of Machinus Rex, following selection of original for sensitive clerical service, immediately detained for intensive vetting. Year 12, month 2, failed first vetting, revised accordingly. Year 21, month 3, passed second vetting, revisions applied to original. Year 21, month 4, subject redacted by order of Machinus Rex. So a branch, whatever a branch may be, was created and then was tested in some way, and then its attributes were applied to the original, and then it was deleted. Tell me more about Genevieve's unknown third child. Alas, cannot summon Codex. Record of fault. Subject re-indexed under Royal Project Horoscope by petition of Sunil Khan, King's Speaker. What is Project Horoscope? Alas, cannot summon chapter. Record of fault. Chapter sealed by petition of Sunil Khan, King's Speaker. Can you show me anything related to this person? Pondering. The machine rumbles and whirs for some time as it dredges up the next scroll from deep within the recesses of the library. Annals of Royal Project Horoscope. Case file. Subject 5. Original true name. Something. Common name. Alas, cannot conjure verse. Birth date. Anti-Rex 4. Month 5. Day 59. Birthplace unknown. Yansk Oblast. Headline outcomes. Branch 0. Original. Alas, cannot conjure verse. Branch 1. Dead by suicide. Branch 2. Dead in prison. Branch 3. Executed for sedition. Branch 4. Emigrated without permit. Branch 5. Assigned to royal service. I don't understand. Who are all these people? Cannot summon chapter. What does cannot conjure verse mean? Summoning Codex, Companion of Faults, 57th edition. Citation. This fault occurs when records in royal annals are lost or corrupted. Attempt manual inspection or file a petition to Chaos Operations. What happened to the original Subject 5? Show me their history. This time you hit pay dirt. Here are all the milestones and misfortunes of Oleg's third child, recounted with the clinical detachment of an account book. Year 3, registered in Royal Annals, age 6, assigned to basic schooling in Yansk Oblast. Year 8, reassigned with family to Ferropolis. Year 9, petitioned Bacchus Rex for technical schooling. Denied. I'll read through their full history. Year 10, assigned to factory service in Ferropolis, reprimanded for carelessness. 10 years old? I believe is what that means, right? 10-year-old factory worker. Year 11, petitioned for medical permit, tonic of jitter seed, granted. Year 14, month 2, permit revoked to supply considerations. Year 14, month 3, reprimanded for malingering. Year 15, dismissed for carelessness and insolence. Year 16, assigned to Royal Project Horoscope. Keep reading. Year 18, assigned to menial service in Ferropolis as per project parameters. Year 21, arrested for sumptuary violations, 2 days in stocks. Year 22, month 0, petition for change of common name, granted as per project parameters. Little kids do great machine work, fit right behind those giant murder gears. That's right, Alex, I see you too have seen a Snowpiercer. Year 22, month 4, petitioned for corporeal transfiguration, change of sex, denied as per project parameters. Project Horoscope is confirmed transphobic. Year 23, month 1, appealed previous petition, denied as per project parameters. Year 23, month 3, assigned to agricultural service in Istrik Oblast as per project parameters. Year 25, petition for reassignment to Ferropolis, denied as per project parameters. Year 27, alas, fault in status check. Year 28, alas, fault in status check. Year 29, alas, fault in status check. That's all there is. You'd better ask the librarian what she makes of it. Try to learn more about Project Horoscope. After some digging, you find a record that was left out of Speaker Sunil's veil of secrecy, though it raises as many questions as it answers. Subject 5, Final Conclusions. This subject and his branches were by far the most variable alumni of Project Horoscope. Branch 0, the original, achieved the lowest combined aptitude and patriotism score, CAPS, in the entire cohort. Due to deficits in faith and compliance which outweighed his merit in scholastics and invention, most alterations produced wild instabilities, leading to adverse outcomes for these branches. However, Branch 5 subsequently achieved the highest caps of all horoscope alumni, earning admission to the Guild of Machinists. Since then, she has made transformative contributions that recommended her for higher office. Lessons for future alteration doctrine are set forth in our full report. Signed, Sunil Khan, Chief Summoner, Century 0, Year 23, Month 3, Day 14. So bad news, you don't have a daughter. Good news, you should have a son. Well, actually, it seems like some kind of... Because if you see, hold on. Show me the original subject history again. If there's something... Because the petition for petition for Clockwork God gender affirming care was denied, but then if you look at... Sorry, where? Show me final conclusions. Yeah, this subject and his branches, right? But then... So that's branch 0, starts as a man. However, branch 5 subsequently achieved the highest caps of all horoscope alumni. Since then, she has made transformative contributions. So, somewhere along the line, one of the branches was able... Maybe it's like, oh, your branch, we were able to affirm your branch, but for, like, scientific control purposes, like we can't allow the original other way around. The librarian quickly hides a handkerchief underneath some papers as you approach. Her eyes are wet and red. Wet and red. That's embarrassing. Oh, hello, dearie. Do pardon me. All the parchment here plays havoc on my allergies. I think I found something about your missing child. Oh, well then. She takes a deep breath. Go ahead, I'm as ready as can be. I didn't get the child's name. Something about a fault in status check. How curious. That's quite similar to what the king says when you ask it about people who've fallen prey to the corruption. The last known location was a place called Istrik Oblast. Istrik? Oh dear me. That's what we used to call the corrupted lands before they were consumed. I've never heard of any survivors. Genevieve looks forlorn. I suppose the answer is staring us in the face, isn't it? When something becomes corrupted, its official records get scrambled. Some say it also affects people's memories of the thing. She sighs, although obviously you and I both know that last part is claptrap. Istrik is gone, but there's a royal cleanup camp near where it used to be, out in the corrupted lands. If there are any clues left as to this child's fate, you'd surely find them there. What's the nature of this corruption? Nobody's quite sure, dearie. I know it started long before the fall of Istrik. Just little outbreaks here and there. Only murmured about, never officially acknowledged. But then the town of Progress was consumed in a matter of weeks, and the rest of Istrik wasn't far behind. After that, everyone knew. I remember exactly where I was when I heard Progress had fallen, in that little apartment in Ferropolis, washing Oleg's socks. Oh, King's blessing on those brave cleanup workers. How do I reach the corrupted lands? At the far eastern end of this island, across an artificial ditch, the whole area is restricted by order of the king, and the cleanup crews get in and out by sky barge. She glances around to check the mechapedes are still dormant, then lowers her voice. Between you and me, I heard there's some kind of abandoned machine out there that you could clamber up. Here. She passes you a little scrap of paper. These are the access codes we use at the library. A lot of the king's machines use the same ones. Perhaps if you try them, you'll get lucky? I'll do what I can. Thank you, dearie. I'll be praying to the king for you. Dead name reference to be made in all this. I don't believe we ever learned that. Because I know the successful branch... Hold on, I need to read it again just to get my head straight about which branch is which. Yeah, I mean basically, well, yeah, we'll learn specifics. Show me horoscope again. Your common name cannot conjure. Yeah, so branch 0 original is the one that is supposedly corrupted. And branch 5 assigned to royal service, who's the successful one. And then original history, yes, it's the original history that has the denied petition. Yeah, okay. Alright. Anyway. No further queries. Okay. Anyway. That's enough of that. The corrupted lands are that way, if I recall. But first... Whoop. Let's see, where do I get the house? Just because it's convenient to sleep. The other patrons are giving this woman a wide berth as if she carries a contagious disease. What are you staring at? Waiting to see if I grow an extra head? Is the tea here really that bad? She laughs, then doubles over as it becomes a heavy cough. Almost. This stuff tastes like heaven after seeing what I've seen. What have you seen? She coughs again and drinks deeply from her mug. Name's Doyle. I'm a royal cleanup worker. You know, fighting the corruption. A hero of the kingdom, they call me. More medals than you've had hot dinners. And what's my reward? Children hide or stare at me wherever I go. Shopkeepers wiped on every surface I touch. When I'm done here, the landlady will bury my mug so that I don't contaminate any other patrons. She glares up at you. So what? Your friends dare you to talk to me? Come to stammer some shite about how grateful you are for my service? Or are you just tired of being human? I'm not afraid, I was just curious. She laughs again. Not afraid of the corruption, huh? Well, take my advice. You should be. 2 more weeks of leave, then I'm back to the corrupted land. Damn the king, but it's never enough. Is that all? No offense, but I might be dead soon, and I don't want to spend my last hours with you. Yeah, it's alright. I'll leave you alone. Because I believe I need to talk to Afra again. Yeah. In order to do that, I gotta go back after nightfall. Alright. Let me rent another... I'll take it. Guess I could have just waited, whatever. Alright, Afra. Oh. You're new? Afra! Afra's mechanical arm gives you a fluid salutation. How goes our task, friend? Why is the city full of silk slugs? She looks around. Oh dear, again? I'm afraid I had my nose in my notes on the way here. The king's affection for silk slugs is a long-standing mystery, but not our most pressing. I found the king's message in the graveyard. Really? She reads the transcript excitedly. Let's see. Could it... No, wait. Oh! She beams up at you. Stars aflame, so I wasn't imagining it. This confirms my analysis. The king is speaking to us, and we must show that we've heard. How did you know about that weird tune? She looks embarrassed. Oh, well, it was just a guess. The king outputs so much information every day, and I just look for patterns. But I mustn't bore you. Truly, I'm interested. I get the sense there was some spark of inspiration. She seems surprised. Oh, well, to tell the truth, I had a dream about it. I saw myself walking in a graveyard, following that tune, and then finding... Now listen, I don't want you to think I'm some sort of crazed mystic. I spend so long buried in royal output logs I sometimes fall asleep on the parchment. I think the dream was only my mind's way of pointing out a pattern I'd missed. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. The king speaks a dialect of cipher language known as sixfold cipher. It's tremendously difficult for human brains to parse. So, for your audience, you'll need a cranial moderator installed into your skull. Absolutely not. Don't worry, it's quite safe. All new machinists receive one when we pass our exams. There's only one cranial engineer still alive who's qualified to install them. Luckily, she has a soft spot for me. I'm not... I'm going to take a wild guess and say that there shouldn't be so few, but the rest all got erased somehow by the king by accident. Seek out Morozov in the mountains north of Ferropolis. Tell her I sent you. Mention the Saidovsky problem, and she'll fix you up. Any questions? I have some concerns about this skull machine. What's so alarming? Would you hesitate to enhance your eyes with spectacles or replace a rotten tooth with gold? You must understand, the royal language opens many doors here. Most people would give their left hands to speak it. I'm sure many literally do. How do I find this Morozov? Morozov and I are old friends, though I haven't seen her in forever. These days she communicates only via letters and parcels. You'll spot her tower easily enough, high on a mountaintop to the north. As for how to reach it, I'm afraid she has not deigned to share the route with me, despite my entreaties. She's not fond of visitors, you see. Are you sure you're still friends? I'm fairly sure. Our bond was too deep to be shattered by mere distance. Yes, we were very close. How I miss that madwoman. Can't someone else install the moderator? Our other cranial engineers were victims of academic disagreements. The guild has tried to use less qualified engineers with messy results. Alas, Morozov is too smart to train any replacements. Alright, I get the picture. I'll look for Morozov, but no promises. Just wish me luck. Totally not cope. Yeah, no, they're fine. Everything's fine with them. Platui, welcome. Also. Right. Let me... Why did it do that before? Was it, I don't know. Whatever. I think... What is it? Was it because I was fatigued and my stats went down? I'm not entirely sure. But, regardless, sometimes it does seem as though stuff gets randomly... Spells get randomly unassigned. I know what's up there. I believe all roads lead to the City of Progress, which is where the or all roads for multiple quests, that is, lead to the City of Progress. Wait, what's that? Is this progress? No, I don't think so. Okay. Oh, man. There we go. Always gamble. Oh, shit. Ah. You quit any time, always. Okay. There we go. Okay. Don't remember what is over here. aside from that. Ah. Hell yeah. Okay, I remember what that is. Come on. Come on. Oh boy, okay. Damn, alright, well. Never gamble, kids. Yeah, I busted out, as they say in Vegas, I think. There we go. 99% of gamblers quit before they make it. That is true. Unfortunately, when they are literally broke and they can't continue, they got no choice. Technically, I think it's probably fair to say that 100% of gamblers who quit before they make it. Depending on how you define before. I just need to get more... I actually don't know if I did the intermediate quest step to unlock this, but probably. It's what we call a skill issue in the biz. That's true, Platui. You're right. That is a skill issue. And I'm afraid I don't have the skills, so... Sucks to suck as me. Well, shit. Well, that was embarrassing. I guess I might as well... I might as well see if I can buy more lockpicks from someone. I already... Did I not already do all this? I feel like I already did all this. Okay, ammo... Okay. Alright, you don't have lockpicks. Do I have to go all the way to... Not me joining right when you jump off a cliff. Oh, so you're the one who cursed me, Suze. Also, welcome. I might have to go all the way back to the thieves, not the outcasts. What are they? No, outlaws. The outlaws' little hideout, in order to buy more lockpicks. Well, at the very least, I can do this, which might be a necessary intermediary step in that quest that I was about to go do. I'm here on behalf of a customer called Nadia. Nadia, why yes, she's a regular of mine, one of my best customers, actually. But I haven't seen her in weeks. Is anything the matter? So it is both a blessing and a curse, yes. It's not good, I'm afraid. It's not good. I'm afraid she's very sick. This is why Morrowind has a thief merchant in almost every bar. That is convenient, Alex. Vidal's face falls to an expression of horror as you explain the situation. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've read about this happening, of course. I've just never... I mean, nobody I know. Look, you don't understand... You don't know anything about this. I'm just a shopkeeper, you understand? I meant to believe you didn't notice your best customer was an addict? Vidal looks sick to his stomach. What? No, I mean... It's not my place to tell people what they can and can't do, is it? The king knows I never wanted to do her any harm. Dr. Pripp, that's the man you want. He's a medical genius and quite a canny businessman. He invented much of the technology that sustains our trade. I know he's been studying dream sickness very closely. Pripp runs the Royal Vision Works out in Cloudpine Oblast. It's in the far northeast of the kingdom, on its own little island out beyond the mountains. I'm sure he'll have some treatment or elixir for poor Nadia. But all signs, sounding rather less chirpy than usual. Well, what else can I do for you today? See you later, Vision Trader. Yeah, so that is, that's, he just told me to go where I was and fell from, so. Alright, well. That's okay. Mission failed, we'll get him next time. Maybe it is, yeah, maybe it is worth doing that. I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a thing out of the way, because the teleport pad's right out here, and then it can just go to Hallowshire, so yeah, I'll do that. Or Hallow Town. Should also boost my lockpicking skill while I'm here. Hello there. I should get some of these too. Here are tatty leathers. And then, is there a thing in here? I don't know if there is. A crafting thing. There is, perfect. Ooh. I don't have... What do you mean I don't have enough? Okay. You know what they say? And because you know what they say, I don't have to tell you. Alright, that, I believe, is the tower with the brain doctor. Friendly neighborhood brain doctor. You did upgrade the gnome hat like 4 times last stream. You know what? That's probably it. That's probably it, Alex. Maxing out the gnome hat definitely is responsible for me losing the silk. Losing out on all that silk. Good catch. Let's see. Oh boy, dare I? At the very least... Someone help me budget my upgrades, yeah. Oh shit, wait, where's the cannon? There it is. Oh, thanks for the extra ammo. What do you mean? What? There we go. Alright. Yeah, this is the Corrupted Lands. That's... okay, yeah, there's the machine that, that Genevieve was telling us about. So... still a bit out of the way, but... again, I'm trying to get a couple other quests done that I believe will also funnel me into the Corrupted Lands so that I can be efficient. After all, isn't that what the Clockwork Kingdom is all about? Is efficiency. Alex, I might use that for the for the VOD title. Someone help me budget my upgrades. My family is dying. I guess it depends on what other things end up being funny. Let's see. There we go. Oh. Alright, well. Can't go there yet. Anyway, so, for a reminder, we were told that the guy we're looking for, Caxton Frost, who was Vela's crew member from the Clockwork Kingdom, was thought to be dead. However, a vision trader lives out here who... or, not a vision trader, a guy who makes the visions lives out here and is very... sort of has a very keen eye for detailed visions about sky pirates, which, you know, makes us wonder, I believe. So, there we go. There's a 6. Guess we might as well talk to them first. Hello there. This man has a wiry strength about him, the kind that comes from years of hard work outdoors. You must be here to see Horace? Well, our home is your home, however humble. What is this place? I'm Samuel. This is my house, technically anyway. The other fellow is Horace Metcalf, my... He knits his brows and gives you a wry smile. Lodger? Housemate? Friend. They're roommates, you see. We're pretty isolated out here, so look after ourselves. I chop our wood and catch our meals while he brings in the coin. Anything else you need? How well do you know Horace? He moved in 3 years ago after my wife passed away. I had an empty room and I was lonely. He needed a quiet place where he'd have his help if his sickness flared up. Since then, he's become part of the family. Most folk think him scatterbrained, but he has such a kind soul, and what an imagination. I've no idea where he gets it all from. I just thank my lucky star I get to live with it. Thank you for your hospitality. Farewell. I won't ask about the I'll ask about the tattoo. Does Horace happen to have a moth tattoo on his left buttock? What? How did you know? Samuel catches himself. As if I'd tell you a thing like that. I suppose I should have known you were one of those visitors. You're lucky I have a soft spot for oddballs, otherwise I'd kick your buttocks right into the Underlands. Hello, Horace Metcalf. This elegant-looking man appears lost in reverie, humming softly to himself. He has a youthful face despite his growing crow's feet, and his voice is gentle as if he were murmuring to a sleeping babe. "Oh, hello there! Where have you come from? You're certainly on the road less traveled," he calls out behind you. "Sam, would you be an angel and brew some more tea? We have a guest." "Very kind. I didn't catch your name, Mr. Goodness gracious, where are my manners? I'm Horace Metcalf, lodger, childminder, and general factotum hereabouts. I also have a little sideline as a weaver of dreams, I suppose, which has been surprisingly successful. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Garth Marenghi, Dreamweaver, Visionary. Plot important design, exactly, Alex. You're welcome to stay a while and rest your feet. I'm sure Samuel will be happy to fix you some refreshments." He takes a dainty sip from his porcelain teacup. "So, to what do we owe this serendipitous visit?" "Tell me a little about yourself." "Scarce little to tell, I fear. I've lived in the Clockwork Kingdom all my life, and jolly glad I am for it too. My health keeps me from roaming, but Samuel has made me feel quite at home. As aforementioned, I also dabble with brewing bottled visions. I specialize in dreams of adventure upon the turbulent skies, aerial battles, swashbuckling duels, and other such daring do. Judging by the letters I receive, they're quite popular." He takes a dainty sip from his porcelain tea. "Oh yeah. I'm looking for a Dark Star mercenary." Metcalf's face lights up with enthusiasm. "Ah, the Dark Star Company! What a thrilling topic! I simply can't stop reading about them. The grizzled Jack Basalt, the enigmatic Emberian, not forgetting the terrifying Vela Kalos herself. Of course, Caxton Frost is the one best known here in the kingdom. He was a famed antiquarian and considered one of our brightest minds, so his defection was quite a scandal. Alas, he chose the wrong side in a mutiny and was incinerated by one of his own contraptions." You're unusually informed about the Dark Stars? He looks bashful. "Ah, well, you mustn't think I'm any kind of expert. You see, making bottled visions isn't like writing a book. You cannot control where the slumbering mind wanders. You can only influence it by choosing what fodder it will chew on. Since visions are such a vital industry, the king permits me to access literature from abroad. News pamphlets, ship schematics, Janus's and Mercenary Weekly. Even those silly, caddish rakeheel books, I devour every bit of reading material I can find. Although," seems like he wants to say more, but then shakes his head. "Well, I'll stop there. An artist must keep something in his pocket, eh?" "Mr. Metcalf, I swear by the king that I won't tell a soul." This seems to put him at ease, and he laughs a little. "Ah, jolly well said. Well, I suppose there's no harm in it, as long as it's only between us. The truth is, I did not choose these visions. I am plagued by them. Dreams of gleaming sails and burning citadels, the stench of gun smoke and the taste of blood. I hoped that bottling them might somehow pacify them, but still they come. Sometimes I dream of things I cannot possibly know, of mushroom-covered ruins in the flickering light of a star shell, of watching Sierra squid frolic off the prow, or sailing through the glittering forest of a siren jelly's tentacles, of kinship forged in battle, baptized in hellfire." He's a fanboy. Perhaps. "And then there's the Ashen Woman, that's what I call her. She seems to be a recurring character. Of course, those bottles stay locked in my private collection. Somehow it doesn't feel safe to expose the public to her. Even now I see her with hair like snow and eyes like twin volcanoes, bold, passionate, sardonic, yet pensive somehow. Her left hand holds the seed of all our futures, while her right hand holds the sword that ends the world." Long John Silver quoted. Which Long John Silver? Because my mind I've never read Treasure Island. I have seen Treasure Planet, and I have seen Black Sails, so those are my Long John Silver reference points. But I'm sure, to some extent, I think he is very much... It does make sense for him to be referenced, to be in part inspired by sort of the broader archetype of Long John Silver, I think. As Metcalf continues his description, all remaining doubts leave your mind. Somehow you know exactly who he's describing. Vela. Metcalf's teacup pauses on the way to his mouth. "I beg your pardon?" "That's Vela. You're describing Vela Kalos." He lowers the teacup slowly back to its saucer. "I am. I suppose I've seen her woodcut often enough. What of it?" "I think you know, Mr. Metcalf. Or should I say... Caxton Frost!" Metcalf blinks several times. "Frost? What does he have to do with... By gum, you can't possibly think I'm this Frost character, can you?" You had me fooled at first, but your dreams gave you away. I was thinking of the novel, but those aren't entirely wrong either. Yeah, I should read the novel someday. I mean, that's true of a lot of things. I've only just now finally gotten around to Lord of the Rings, which I'm almost finished with. I don't understand. Those are all my dreams. If this is some sort of prank, I am afraid I find it in rather poor taste. Listen, I'm only an ordinary chap with an overactive imagination. I don't know anything about mercenaries or adventurers. My visions may be realistic, but they're pure fantasy. This is all just a silly misunderstanding. At first that was the fast food chain, and unfortunately I hate that. I'm not familiar with the fast... I didn't know there was a fast food chain, Long John Silver's, Suze. Drop the act. We both know you're not just some bumbling naif. Well, thank you for the compliment, but don't you see that what you're proposing is impossible? I can't sail or sword fight or any of that. The closest I've come to an adventure is getting lost in a bookshop in Bayonne. Skyships make me nauseous. I'm no good with machines. I'm allergic to rum. Now please, can't you see I'm telling the truth? What more must I do to convince you? A faint rattling of porcelain emanates from his cup and saucer. His hands are shaking. If you don't talk, I'll be drawn and quartered. But how, for pity's sake? How can I admit something that isn't true? Dash it all to blazes! He throws up both hands in desperation. I am not Caxton Frost! There's a moment of silence, only broken by the steady dripping of tea he just splashed across the wall. Now I see. The Clockwork King has erased your memory. What? Don't be absurd. The king can't do that. I know there's rumors, but that's all just Union disinformation. Oh, what a jolly horrid day. This is going to affect my dreams for weeks. A new dark direction for Horace Metcalfe, that's what they'll say. Horace, listen to me. Your whole identity is a fiction. You were a Dark Star, but someone has erased your memory. Now I need you to help save the world. He sighs deeply. You really are very strange, do you know that? Clearly this conversation has hit a wall. You'll need to find some other way of jogging Metcalfe's memory. That private vision stash he mentioned must be the key, but where in his house is he keeping it? Where might that be? It's well known to be the worst fast food chain consistently. I suppose I should find it and check it out just to confirm that. No, I'll take your word for it. Or the word of, yeah. A ghostly light ripples from within each bottle, their contents swirling like mist. Evidently, this is Horace Metcalfe's private vision stash. His labeling system is meticulous, and you quickly locate a bottle marked "Not for Distribution" that mentions the Ashen Woman. You take the bottle. Now I believe I have to smoke it. Right? Yeah, now find a safe place to imbibe it. Yeah, sure, let's do that. And then... here we are. Bottoms up. I guess you don't say bottoms up for a hookah, whatever. You drift into a restless sleep. You're climbing through the skeleton of a titanic machine. Above you, the Ashen Woman pauses on a rusted clavicle to give you a cocky grin. Come on, slow coach. You forget to oil your legs. Pass out over the railing and dies. Let's just assume I'm sitting down, Alex. We love amnesia subplots. You know, it's funny. I feel like amnesia subplots tend to be... I feel like amnesia subplots are a bit of a cliche when it's the protagonist who has it, but less so when it's a side character. Especially in conjunction with everything else we're learning about the Clockwork King. That's right, you're Horace Metcalfe now, not whoever you were before. You watch Vela input some kind of code, and the Titan's brain case opens so you can clamber out. Then she takes your hand, gives it a reassuring squeeze, and you both lift off the ground. You fly over the corrupted lands, light as a leaf on the wind. In the distance is a dead city, its charred bones exposed to the desolate sky, growing ever larger as you spiral down its gates. Query, any last words? Says the Clockwork King, its voice like a cyclone of blowflies and broken glass. You feel your heartbeat quicken. You do remember, don't you? Alas, we who wish to lay the grounds of kindness could not ourselves be kind. The king's mouth shivers open, its teeth dripping with blood, and you both walk through into darkness. When your eyes adjust, you find yourself in your childhood schoolroom. The room is half buried in compacted ash, the blackboard a palimpsest of faded sums and slogans. Vela, wearing a schoolmaster's cap, throws a shovel at you. Well, boy, aren't you going to show us what you can do? You dig for hours until you strike something brittle and crunchy. As you clear away more debris, you realize you're standing on a giant mirror with cracks radiating out from where your blade hit home. You look so different from how you remember. Handsome, hard, and imperious, standing fully upright, your legs encased in some kind of clockwork armor. You feel your heart pounding like a battering ram against your ribcage. Your reflection gives you a cruel, taunting smile. What's the matter, darling? Forgot your line? You wake up breathless and drenched in sweat, your thoughts racing. You know where you must go. You know from the vision, from flying over the corrupted lands with Vela, past the abandoned diggers, down to the very southeastern tip, to the lost city of Progress. That is where Horace's memories lie. As I said, all roads in this region, except for the road leading to that place over there that I fell off of. But you know, whatever. Doesn't matter about that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I feel you worrying, but don't worry. I worry? Alex, I specifically told you not to. I'm very disappointed in you. Not you too, Suze. Okay, this way. Yeah, let's talk to the brain. Word I am. Thank you, Yoda Platui, for also disobeying me. I feel like there's something behind here. Yep. 2 coins! Fuck yes! Alright. Oh, shit. You know what? Now I'm worried, too. Gotta admit, didn't even know trains could get into a traffic jam before now, but this is why you guys need actual tracks. Baby trains they are, Alex. They're babies. And I just killed them. Okay. There's sneak attacks in this game? I actually don't know. Oh, this one's... Those are horrifying. Wait till we eventually get to the Underlands. I already... Why am I blanking on what the... It's not called the Underlands, but it's... Yeah. Maybe it is the Underlands. Okay. Aha! More glorious silk. Alright. Nice. The machine emits a buzz, then a distorted human voice. Go away! Nobody's home! If nobody's home, who are you? Bzz. Like I said, nobody. Nobody's here, nothing available. Get the picture? Maybe I want to talk to nobody about nothing. Is this what you do for fun? I'm closing this channel. There's a click, then silence. More silk for the gnome hat. The gnome hat demands more silk. I actually might be at the maximum level for the gnome hat. I'd have to double check, but I think I'm at maximum for that. I'm looking for Morozov. Is this the right tower? Never heard of them. Chief Interpreter Afra sent me. It's about the Saidovsky problem. A long pause, then a loud clunk. Door's unlocked. Wipe your boots. Hi there. You don't mind if I, There we go. You don't mind if I just, steal your shit before I talk to you, right? Bottled vision from a Korshi. From a Korshi. Afra Gray is Gray is her last name. The morning she sat in, the slip she sat in like the morning dew clung to her bosom. The cloth was perfumed gauze, cleaving so closely to her nubile curves that the looking-glass itself was lovesick for her. I think I'll leave this be. We've found the lusty Argonian maid of this game. Alright. Enjoying your smut? The stout, aging mechanist looks surprised to see you. What? How do you get inside? Get out of here right now or my security will fry you to a crisp. You let me in? What? Why in the hell would I do that? I'll have you know I'm in the middle of some very important work. You notice a cheaply bound romance, open spine up beside her, plus stacks of dirty plates and half-empty teacups. Afra wants me to get a cranial modulator. Hated a lot of that. Well, Suze, I could go back and read more, but I'll focus on having her dig around in my brain. Moderator, sweetheart. It's a cranial moderator. She scratches her head. Afra, huh? Bitch won't even write me. Now she wants a favor. I guess she knows I can't say no to her. You know her well? Know her? Ha, sure. Me and Afra, we go way back. What's she dreaming about these days? Ah, don't tell me. I don't want any part of it. Morozov shakes her head. That dumb bitch. What is the Saidovsky problem, anyway? Psh, it's a famous problem in cipher theory about whether you could use an advanced time spell to go backwards. We were both assigned to work on it years ago. It's how we met. Is a Fujoshi tower? I think it's a Yuri tower. Morozov shakes her head. So you'll help then? Sure, I guess. Technically it's my job or something. My condolences on becoming her new recruit. If you ask me, the guild's a sinking ship. Now listen, sweetheart, getting your brain to accept a big hunk of gears as part of itself ain't exactly a cakewalk. I need a slice of your meat that's got deep connections to all the rest. Pick a person, someone you really cherished, see? Someone that made you who you are. You're gonna forget him, and I'll stick the cranial moderator in their place. It'll be as dear to you as they were. Don't tell me about him, I don't care. Just think of him. Say your goodbyes, eh? Forget your parents, you've given up trying to make them understand. Forget your first love, you needn't carry that heartbreak anymore. Forget your best friend. It hurts to think how far apart you've grown. Forget your mentor. You still feel the sting of their disappointment. Let's go, mentor. That's right, just like that. Come to mama. You fall back into a black and timeless place. When you come to, your head feels heavier than before. Stupid thing, where'd I leave it? Well, hey now, look who's awake. How you doing, sweetheart? We can say arg, blurg, or glurg. I'll go glurg. Truer words were never spoken, huh? Well, seems the moderator went in nice and smooth. Congratulations, you're part machine. What can I do now that it's installed? Now you can understand the sixfold cipher language of our glorious king. Read it, write it, speak it, hear it, or shove it up your ass for all I care. All make sense to you? Kind of wish one of the options was a pet. That could have been interesting, Alex. Are there any drawbacks? Oh, sure. Watch out for migraines, seizures, deafness, blindness, aneurysms, nightmares, prophetic dreams, mental decline, partial or total amnesia, paranoia, delusions of being dead, religious ecstasy and or agony, out-of-body experiences, Wycliffe's idiocy, gangrene. You want to come in for a checkup every few years. Some of those metals are a little toxic. Worst of all, whenever someone has a problem with the king's magic, they'll ask you to fix it. I should have farmed silk slugs. All make sense to you? Thanks, I guess we're done here. Don't mention it, darling. No, really, don't. In fact, leave my tower and don't speak to me again. Nothing personal, but I got a hot date with a cheese wheel I've been saving. Actually, there's something else we must discuss. Can I ask you some questions? Tell me more about yourself. Name's Morozov. I'm a cranial engineer, which means I know how to jam a bunch of clockwork into your brain without turning it into Bry's cabbage. As if that weren't talent enough, I'm also one of the kingdom's most prolific dreamers. If you've ever tried a bottled vision, chances are you've sampled the fruit of this crafty old noggin. She knocks on the side of her head. So you're involved in the vision trade? Involved? I practically keep it in business. I sell a lot of visions, but I buy, too. You might call me a connoisseur. You gotta know good art to make good art, right? Vision trade's about the only business we got left in this kingdom. And it ain't hard to see why. Folk outside the kingdom go crazy for it, too. I guess however bad things get, our dreams are still worth something. What are you doing all the way out here? I saw all this coming, you know. The winter, the corruption, all it, or close enough. Didn't take a genius to see things would get bad. It's all there in the royal output logs, not to mention right before your eyes. So I made a big noise about needing peace and quiet for my work. What can I say? Your girl's a drama queen. Guild gave me this tower, and here I am in blessed isolation. At least until some galoot like you shows up. You're remarkably frank about the kingdom's problems. She grins toothily. A rare quality, ain't it? But what are they gonna do, hang me? Then who'll keep all their own skulls ticking away and fix up the new recruits? The guild loves to eat its own, but all the other cranial engineers got eaten too, so go ahead, report me. They love to shoot the messenger, too. That's all my questions. Listen, darling, you didn't ask, but take it from me. The Clockwork Kingdom is doomed. If you're smart, you'll do as I do. Find a safe place to hole up, and stay put till it all comes crashing down. Do you truly think there's no hope? Oh, you can always hope, darling. Be my guest. We done here, darling? I ain't got all day. Or night. What time is it again? I'll leave you to your, work. Reminds me of Blade Runner. Which part, Platui? Like the memories? Oh, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, no, the memories from, in 2049. That's right. Yeah, no, you're right. It is kind of like that. I still prefer the original, I have to say, but that's mostly because of Roy Batty. I think the kind of existentialism that Roy Batty brings to the first Blade Runner is really interesting, and it's done in a really, and the treatment of, you know, mortality and stuff like that is really good in a way that 2049 does not have. However, 2049 does not seem to hate women as much as the first movie does. So, as much as I love the first Blade Runner, it is not a... It's definitely a bit misogynistic as a movie, which is unfortunate. And 2049... I'm sure... I mean, there's definitely feminist critiques to be made of it that I haven't seen, but I can kind of imagine. But, you know, certainly in comparison, it's better. And also, 2049 probably best sex scene in any movie that I can think of, because it's just like a really cool, just really cool scene. Never actually seen the original nor read the books. I have read the book. The book is Alex, I think in fairness to the movie, the books are kind of worse on that. I do remember that being the case. So, incremental baby steps. Sue's Both Were So Dang Good, two of my top movies of all time. Good taste. Yeah. I will say, something that I actively dislike about 2049 is the music. I really love Vangelis's score in the first Blade Runner movie, and the 2049 score has some decent bits, but a lot of it just seems like Hans Zimmer just slammed his hands on a synth instead of being like as sort of atmospheric and like beautifully melodic and in the way that Vangelis's score is. So, and like the best musical moment in the movie is when he just reuses the Tears in the Rain theme that Vangelis did. Like, so, yeah. I'm not like a Hans Zimmer hater, broadly speaking, but I actually don't really like the 2049 score, in part because of how much I really like the Vangelis score. Original Silent Green story is also weird about women. Being weird about women was just kind of part of the detective genre. Yeah, I mean, detective genre's heyday was, like 40s, 30s, and 40s, so. It was the style at the time, as Grandpa Simpson would say. The clerk trills in a sing-song voice that she's clearly practiced hundreds of times. Hello, citizen, and welcome to the Royal Vision Works. Are you here for yourself or on behalf of someone else? Someone else. Lovely. Now I must inform you that we can't sign a contract without meeting the candidate in person or examining them if they're medically incapable, but I'm happy to walk you through the details. We have a number of positions open with contracts ranging from 3 Clockwork Standard months to 12 years. How long were you thinking of staying? Sorry, what exactly were we talking about? Why, becoming a vision worker. That is what you're here for, isn't it? All our workers are provided room and board, along with top-notch medical care from the illustrious Dr. Pripp. Half the proceeds of their work are retained by the institution, and the other half is theirs to keep. You can have the money paid out twice monthly to a designated beneficiary, or held safely for you until your contract ends. And of course, all your work will be properly credited under your own name. Would you like to read through some sample contracts, or try a sample of our patented sleeping draft? Look, pretend I'm a child. What is this place? Well, it's like I said, this is the Royal Vision Works. We make bottled visions. The clerk smiles coldly. If you're not here for any particular reason, I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't really have time for this idle hobnobbing. I'm actually here to see Dr. Pripp. I'm sorry, Dr. Pripp is extremely busy at present and is only seeing visitors by appointment. Can I help you with anything else? Ma'am, I'm afraid there's been a complaint. I need to see Pripp personally. A complaint? From whom? Sorry, who are you exactly? I'm with the DRB, ma'am. Now, I'm not at liberty to name the complainant, but we have a duty to take this seriously. The receptionist blinks, caught off balance by your aura of an unwavering bureaucratic assurance. The DRB? What does that mean? I've never heard of... The Dream Regulation Board, ma'am. We're a branch of the Royal Factors Office. Well, technically we're part of the militia, but do I look like I can swing a sword? Anyway, this is all very irregular. Do I have any proof of your... Flash a piece of paper too quickly for her to examine. Flash some psychic paper in front of her. Sure, ma'am. Sure do, ma'am. Now, this morning the factor tells me I gotta talk to Pripp and only Pripp. Gertrude, I tells her. Excuse me, can I see that paper again? Wait, who's Gertrude? Gertrude, I says. That's her name, see? Though she's very private about it, so don't spread it around. Gertrude, they ain't gonna let me see him. And she says, so what? Then we kick it up to the guild and it's not our problem. The clerk looks perturbed. Sorry, did you say the Guild of Machinists is involved in this? Could be, ma'am. See, first it goes through our office, and if we can't make progress, we petition the king. Then the king sends in the militia, and oof, what a mess those boys make. So I says, Gertrude, the receptionist is now practically panicking. Yes, all right. Please proceed upstairs to the top floor. Dr. Pripp will see you immediately. Bureaucratic aura farming. Suze, I'm pretty sure that's the first time bureaucratic and aura farming has been used together. But you're not wrong. Okay, these are all workers and a couple dreamers, it looks like. Now now we're in Inception, Dreamer Den territory. Use through bureaucracy to your advantage, exactly, Platui. I'm under the impression that my take about Blade Runner 2049's score is not a popular one, but I stand by it. Alright, hello there, sir. A smell of jasmine lingers around this excessively well-kempt man. Little round spectacles frame his cadaverous face, and a neatly trimmed mustache nestles on his top lip. Well, well, there's something one doesn't see every day. A mystery visitor. I know all the names and faces of my workers' regular visitors, so I would warrant you are here to see me. He gives you a small but theatrical bow. Dr. Karl von Pripp at your service. Physician, vision right, and appointed steward of all the industrious dreamers who serve here. So what brings you to the Royal Vision Works today? What is this place? It looks like a hospital, but it feels like a prison. A prison? On the contrary, most of our workers come here of their own free will. The rest are far past the point of making their own decisions. Some come from desperate circumstances and wish to lift their relatives out of a financial hole. Others are working to furnish their own future. Furnish their own furniture. Others are working to furnish their own future. Occasionally, a delinquent debtor will be given a choice of coming here instead of being jailed. A rare few of them are, to be blunt, simply tired of life. I hope even my detractors would agree that my patented Eversleep elixir is far preferable to suicide. And what does the royal part mean? We enjoy the letter patent from our glorious Clockwork King, which gives us a legal monopoly on exporting bottled visions outside the kingdom. Separately, I am chairman of the Oniric Oversight Committee, which regulates the vision trade, licenses vision rights, and ensures that bottles hazardous to public morals are taken off the shelves. It is a duty that I take exceedingly seriously. How else could I be of service? I'm here on behalf of a woman who can't wake up. Dr. Pripp listens to your tale with studious dispassion, his brows slightly furrowed. It is a most unfortunate case. Alas, it is also a familiar one. Do you like the good news first or the bad news? Good news. The good news is that I can offer at least 2 solutions to the poor girl's predicament. Her mother may not like them, but I am a doctor and not a minor god. The bad news is that there is no known cure for chronic oneirism once it advances to such a late stage. Naturally, this is a major avenue of my research, but in my professional opinion it is unlikely to bear fruit for at least a decade. The simplest option is for Nadia to join our happy crew. Many of our workers are chronic cases like her, and I can assure you they are comfortable and well taken care of. Her mother would share in the profits while being relieved of the burden of caring for her, and could visit regularly during our open hours. Naturally, we would also pay you a finder's fee. Alternatively, Yasmin could buy her own vision siphon, also known as a dream crown. I believe the current price is 120 coins, including permit fees. This would enable her to support Nadia at home by bottling and selling her visions independently. You can't be serious. Look around you. Does it seem to you as if I am joking? Nadia and Yasmin are not the first to suffer this predicament, and I'm afraid they will not be the last. Let me get this straight. Bottled visions make people sick, and then you use those people to make more bottled visions? I must correct you on one point. Only a very small percentage of vision imbibers suffer from chronic onirianism, and invariably we find that they have a history of excessive use. The label does warn you against that, you know. Any other questions? Tell me more about Nadia becoming one of your workers. Chronic oniranists are an interesting cohort. For all their outward lethargy, their imaginations remain superbly active, which is to say, profitable. Here at the Works, we can bottle their visions en masse, using cutting-edge equipment, and we enjoy good relationships and very favorable rates with both domestic and foreign distributors. We also host a weekly support group for family members of chronic oniranists, which Yasmin would be welcome to attend. And tell me more about Yasmin buying a dream crown. If memory serves, she could buy one at Vidal's shop. She would need a permit, but since I chair the body that approves said permits, that won't be a problem. I must caution you that without the benefits of our extensive distribution network and our royal monopoly on exports, this option would inevitably be less lucrative for Yasmin.
On the other hand, with practice, Yasmin could learn to capture her own dreams and administer them to Nadia, potentially permitting a form of bi-directional communication between the pair.
Very well, I'll have to see what Yasmin thinks.
Why don't you take one of our standard contracts for her to read through? A pre-stamped 0th class Royal Post envelope is included in the package. If Yasmin accepts our offer, I shall leave your finder's fee with Vidal the Vision Trader in Ferropolis.
Thanks, I suppose.
Remember, this is not a decision that should be taken lightly. I encourage Yasmin to take all the time she wishes.
Yeah, not a good situation at all.
Music is outside my expertise, so I've got no deeper insight to that soundtrack's reputation. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like a music expert, Alex, but I'm basing that off just, what just my own likes and how much, just how much I like the specific soundtrack from the first one.
All right. Is it night or not?
I feel like it's probably not.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's too bright for that. Oh no. Hello. Head full of gears as requested.
Splendid. You're practically one of us now, eh? I promise you won't regret it. I've been studying the message you received from the graveyard. I think Its Majesty wants us to pass it on elsewhere, but not by the usual channels. In the Corrupted Lands, there is a royal broadcast beacon, formerly used to send signals down to the Underlands.
It is Underlands, okay.
It was abandoned when corruption overtook the area. Uh-oh. If you look to the left, the Clockwork King is making the fence flicker in and out of existence. Or at least he was.
There we go. Broadcast beacon abandoned since fell into disrepair. However, the king has not forgotten it.
Unfortunately, the beacon is no longer answering remote commands, which means you, and I am truly sorry for this, must deliver the message in person. She hands you a weighty folder of forest green leather. This is what we mechanists call a punch card. It's a way of recording information so the king can understand. In this case, music. Use the punch card to open the tower door, then insert it into the apparatus at the top of the beacon.
This sounds incredibly dangerous.
Very much so. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate such a journey, and I truly wish I could go myself, but if Sunil notices I'm absent for too long, our whole plan will be sunk. My advice? Try not to enter any structure not fixed to the ground. Cleanup workers are your friends. If you taste lilac, turn back immediately, and if you see an eyeball, do not meet its gaze. If you need respite, I believe there's a royal cleanup camp in that area, though I've never been there myself.
Anything else?
Why would you want to send signals to the Underlands? We asked the king that same question. His Majesty was adamant that someone or something might be alive down there, and that contacting them was somehow critical to the kingdom's future. Alas, no response ever came.
How do we get to the Corrupted Lands?
The Corrupted Lands are southeast of here, across a great chasm carved out by the king's machines. Officially, there's no way in, but I found records of an old abandoned digging engine in the area that might offer you a path. I'll have the king conjure the access code directly into your cranial moderator. Just picture me in your mind's eye with as much detail as you can, and it'll come to you.
If you say so. I already have that, though, but yeah, fine, that's all. But if I become a monster, I'll eat you first.
Entirely fair.
And then, Nadia is up here, I think? Alright, how are we thinking? How are we thinking? Do we want to encourage Yasmin to make her daughter an indentured worker with the potential for a little more money, and possibly also being closer to the study that might cure her in 10 years, or give her, help her get the thing to bottle her own visions, which could, doesn't mean that, Nadia is sort of forced to work in any way, and they might have some kind of,
of a relationship through dreams, but she's a bit further away from any extra help, and also still be struggling financially, probably. You find Yasmin feeding her daughter porridge from a wooden bowl, singing a soft lullaby. She looks worn down to the bone. Yasmin glances in your direction. Hello again. Did you have any luck? I managed to find a doctor, but it's not good news. You hand her the sheaf of papers that Prip gave you and begin to explain. From the way Yasmin listens, you can tell she has plenty of experience maintaining composure in the face of tragedy. This time, though, it's not enough. Offer her a handkerchief to wipe her eyes. When she's finished, she looks over at Nadia for a long time. Oh, my darling, how could I have let this happen to you? Both of those sound particularly bad. They are. This is not... there's no good option here. Yasmin looks back at you. I know you did your best, but this is quite the dilemma you've brought me. What do you think I should do? I'll send her to the Vision Works. That way you won't have to worry anymore. I keep Nadia at home, even if it'll be a struggle sometimes. Yeah, I mean... definitely not a... not an easy outcome in either case. Alright, I'm trying to think of what I did. I probably... last time I'm pretty sure that I had her keep Nadia at home. I believe that's what I did. I mean, it's what I would do. And it seems like you guys agree. Alright, I'll keep Nadia at home, even if it'll be a struggle sometimes. Yes, you can't put a price on family. I may not know how to care for Nadia properly, or bottle visions, but I can learn. King knows I've seen a lot of change in my life. Although, it would be a lot of work. If my sickness flares up, I might not be able to keep the business going. We could easily end up back where we started, without a penny. My heart tells me I should keep Nadia here, no matter how long it takes for me to learn the vision trade or how difficult it would be to take care of her. And if there's any way that I can still communicate with her, even if it's only through dreams, I want to take it. Truthfully, though, it's moot. I don't have 120 coins to buy a dream crown from Vidal, and I doubt I ever will. My neighbors have been a tremendous help, but there isn't that much cash in this entire tenement. I suppose I'll get in touch with this Dr. Prip and begin the process. What else can I do? What if I could pay for the dream crown? You can tell that Yasmin is conflicted about your offer. What? Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that. You've already helped so much. Really, I insist. Call it a loan if you like. No interest. Pay it back before the world ends. She smiles a little, then looks up at you with tears in her eyes. Very well, then. That will be enough time, I should think. Whatever the outcome, you've helped Nadia more than I could have asked. I wish I could pay for your time, but... well, perhaps this will suffice. Oh, there we go. This is the deed to our old family home, just outside Veropolis. Technically, we need to petition the Clockwork King for a change of ownership, but since the militia have all but abandoned the countryside, you should be left alone. Where's... I know where it is. Thank you, Yasmin. This time her smile is warm and genuine. May you have more luck with it than we did. They don't live there anymore. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically she could have sold it. I guess technically she just did, actually. Yeah, I'm 99% sure she'll give you the house regardless of what you pick, but still.
I finally want to vote. Congrats, Alex. Democracy does work. Okay. See, homeownership is easy. As I made that joke already. But now I have 2 houses to make that joke with. Is there a bed already? There is not. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. And I believe it'll be renovated after a certain amount of in-game time. Alright, what are we gonna do? I mean, yeah, go to the Corrupted Lands. Maybe I should have saved at the house, but eh. Don't mind me, spider tanks, just passing through. Or spider trains, just passing through. I think I called them spider tanks in the in that VOD title. I should change it. Anyway. It seems like you guys sure are doing a great job of maintaining maintaining this cleanup effort. The control console is caked with dirt and dust. A spider skitters away into the hole where an indicator light had been torn out. Nobody has been here in a long time. Amidst the decay, you spy a keypad with 6 round keys. I'll give the access codes to the librarian. You methodically punch in the numbers, occasionally pausing to squint at Genevieve's tiny handwriting. Most of them fail until you try the final code, 050451. Is this... This is not an immersive sim, but it seems like they're kind of sort of doing the 451 thing anyway. Somewhere beneath your feet, an engine thrums to life, and the metal catwalk begins to vibrate. Tim Kaine implied by his newest video that he's working on the Obsidian Fallout game. Yeah, that makes sense. Did he officially rejoin, or did he officially join the company for Outer Worlds, or was it more like contractor? Alright. Give me that stamina. Okay, yeah, so that's why yes, the stamina goes low, you get fatigued, and then your stats decrease, and then my stat
decreased to the point where it just unequipped the spell. A little bit annoying. I guess I can, bump up. Okay, creative consultant for the Outer Worlds. You think he's probably part of the company now. That makes sense. Oh. Hi there. You're a bit... Ah. Shit. Ooh. Alright, we got, yeah, speaking of Fallout, we got some of those, what are they called? The guys that look like this in New Vegas. The mutants that look like that in New Vegas. You know what I'm talking about, right? Probably. I'm assuming. Are they like manticores? Is that what they're called? Or some kind of... Sweet Clockwork King, yeah. There's some there's some kind of mythological reference, I believe. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh boy. Damn it. Okay. Well, that's why I say never gamble. Chimera, yeah, that's the one. It's interesting that the word chimera has become sort of, when it's not referring to a beast, to a mythological beast, it kind of refers to, like, an amalgamation, a combination of things. But that's like all Greek monsters, so how come Chimera gets the name for that? Oh, nice. More lockpicks, you know what that means. Alright, magic shield, that's nice. Fuck. Maybe because it's specifically called out to be a combination of things and not just referenced to as a chimera. Like the Hydra is always called a Hydra and a Pegasus is always called a Pegasus. Okay, if that, yeah, that would make sense. And the name Chimera in Greek is a reference to breathing fire. That is... Yeah, well, linguistic drift is what it is. Plenty of... I don't know. Linguistic drift is pretty annoying, though. Yeah, I imagine, that is sort of annoying for, like, Greek stuff. Yeah, the drift of the word literally to not mean literally anymore. Or, one of my biggest pet peeves is the way that people use inception to mean a thing within a thing because of the movie Inception. But the name Inception in the movie Inception refers to the idea of planting an idea in someone's mind, is inception. But what they actually mean is recursion. But the movie, they're referencing the movie because thing within a thing. But then it's like, but that's not what the word means, but then now to some people that is what the word means. But they're wrong. Anyway. Thing when a thing is recursion, not inception. Another lockpick. Damn you, Christopher Nolan. Yeah, it's all his fault. Memes all the way down. And that's another thing. Memes. The word meme is different because of the original, you know, a unit of information back when Richard Dawkins was not a crazy person, although he probably was and just was right about that one thing. But, you know, the meme being like the cultural equivalent of gene versus it's just an internet thing. I hope, Alright. Okay. Ah. Should have just gone back and, should have just gone back and re-upped that lockpicking buff from the outlaw hideout, but it's too late to turn back now. It's not like I can just teleport back to the city. And also buy more stuff. Hi there. The voice comes through harsh and commanding through their helmet. Gawked enough, have you? Had your fill? If you'd any respect, you'd piss off right back to Ferropolis. Well, I assume they set that on fire. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna unlock the other. Can unlock the other way into the. There's a bridge that takes you. That was raised before that you might remember. Gonna raise that and then. What's up? Metallic sigh issues from within their helmet. Reality ain't what it used to be around here. Patrolling the corrupted lands almost makes you wish for a nuclear summer. Here we are. All right. And hopefully this, some of that sounds so worse than wintry. It does. I mean, I think it just makes it sound much more like, yeah, everything's just getting incinerated. All right. Okay, not enough time has passed. That's okay. We'll rest in the outlaw place. Oh. Why, thank you, people who are here. Forgot about that. That when you rest in a faction area like that, you can sometimes a faction will give you stuff when you wake up, like potions and other items like that. Okay, now this is... Oh, this is the broadcast tower. Actually, gonna need to probably buy more ammo soon. Going back to Nolan, does anyone have opinions on the Odyssey? I still have yet to see it. I'm bad at going to the movie theater to see new movies because I'm too busy gaming. That's not a joke. I mean, it is true. You know, I spend more of the free time that I have. Greek poems plus literature included. Well, I do have some. It's the Odyssey more broadly, I guess. As I said on my Blue Sky, my secret backstory is that in 9th grade I wrote an essay about how Odysseus killing the suitors was indicative of a warrior, like of him being stuck in like a war mindset and unable to readjust to civilian life. And my English teacher was like she wrote in the notes like, "Oh, I never thought of that before." And then I was like, I must become a YouTuber to relive that rush. I've also been meaning to rewatch Epic the musical, like with the animatics. I've only listened to it, and I feel like part of the sort of the experience now is. But yeah, I have yet to see the Nolan movie. I probably will soon, but yeah, I'm just bad at going to see it. Suze, go off, go off. Give me more chat engagement by posting your Odyssey takes. The control panel is a dizzying array of levers, dials, and buttons, many smashed or corroded. Among them is a slot-like entry port waiting for input. A howling wind whips snow and ash across your face. Insert the punch card with the king's message. The card jams in the slot, but you give it a good shove. For a moment, nothing happens. The whole tower begins to vibrate. Needles jump back and forth along their dials. A transistor bursts in a shower of glass. One by one, indicator lights go green as the beacon reconnects with its long-lost king. Above you, the giant antenna crackles to life and emits a pulse of silent sound, felt in your belly rather than heard. The pulse continues at regular intervals, singing a song that only your bones can hear, broadcasting a monarch's lonely cry down into the underlands. Suddenly, the control panel crackles and squeals before emitting a familiar voice. God's damn thing even work. Hey, asshole, are you hearing this? Mikhail, is that you? Misha? No, this is ancient mummified queen of the Underlands here to tell you you have stupid nose, pinhead, nincompoop, fucking Listen, we do not have long with this device, so pay attention. Misha has some friends who have been watching you through the king's eyes. They know all about Chief Interpreter Afra and her big plan, enough to cannot be trusted. Go down in Ferropolis and find a market trader called Reza. Ask them the 7th letter. Do this before Alfred's punch card. You understand? Was it about the 7th letter? It appears Mikhail can no longer hear you. You and I, I believe we have seen each other's souls. We have discussed philosophy. Nothing matters this. Misha is asking you as a friend. There is nothing more, save for the roar of static. So we could have gone and found Reza earlier, and she would just have been like just a person. I feel like the women characters were done a bit dirty. That's your biggest gripe, Suze? I mean, Alex has Nolan ever done women well. Yeah, that I feel like I've definitely heard that criticism of the Odyssey and Nolan generally. When you say has Nolan ever done women well, I feel like Ariadne in Inception was pretty decent, even though, still in service to Cobb's whole deal. And obviously Inception has the stuff with his wife. But it has been a while since I've seen Inception, though. As an adaptation, really enjoyed what they chose to focus on, made a lot of the scenes feel how you felt when you first read the Odyssey. That's cool. I have noticed, Emily Wilson not liking the movie. And I think from what I've seen, Nathan Goldwag is a writer who has done some stuff about classics and also some politics stuff that I've really enjoyed. And his sort of take on the Odyssey, on Nolan's Odyssey, is basically that Nolan was less adapting the Odyssey and more using the Odyssey to adapt the Bronze Age collapse theory to apply it to sort of, societal collapse today. And so it makes more sense to view it that way rather than as like a straightforward Odyssey adaptation. Can't speak on the validity of that yet myself, but it makes sense, I think. I haven't really been avoiding spoilers because the Odyssey is the Odyssey. Love Emily Wilson, but you thought she was far too harsh. Yeah, again, it seems like she was looking at it as more as a direct adaptation than someone like Goldwag. But it is funny, just because of all the, anti-woke bullshit being pushed about the movie, where people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be like woke garbage because it's based on Emily Wilson's translation," and then she didn't even like it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why the anti-woke bullshit about the movie was funny. I mean, it was obviously dumb at the time, because it always is, but especially with hindsight now. Well, if it ain't the cursed Dodger in the flesh. Chief not gotten tired of you yet? Or have you just come back just to see me? Is this truly necessary? You've been outside, what do you think? They poke a long, thin probe inside your mouth and wave it all up and down your body. The connected apparatus emits little chirps and warbles. Alright, you're clean. For now. Okay, so I know what happens in this particular area, but am I at the point where I can actually trigger that? Okay, okay, cool. Cool. Stay back, citizen. These monsters are dormant right now, but they could rouse at any moment, and if they get their claws into you, you'll be everybody's problem. What are these things? Would you believe they used to be citizens just like you or me? Once the corruption takes you, there's no return. Can I take a look inside the cage? Have you lost your marbles? No one's allowed in there without... Suddenly their words are drowned out by a deafening metallic voice from the main building. Attention all hands! A shift change is delayed by 72 minutes. Repeat, 72 minutes. Huang out. As I was saying, no entry without orders from the chief. Please, I have reason to believe one of them is my child. Cleanup worker looks pained. Shit, I'm sorry about your kid, I really am, but my orders are strict. We can't risk anyone bringing the corruption into Ferropolis. Look, if you're hell-bent on it, talk to cleanup leader Huang. He's over in the main building, top floor. Just don't tell him I sent you. He's got a foul temper. I do wonder if other directors will be driven to adapt other myths now. That'd be interesting. I mean, as far as, like... I mean, you know, Hollywood's always like, oh... The reason why this thing was successful is because of this thing that isn't necessarily the reason. So I'm sure we're gonna get some other stuff greenlit. Be interesting to see that. All the actors did a phenomenal job too. Also, Agamemnon was R-farming in every scene he was in. It was hilarious. I know I've seen a comment. Sort of taking amusement at the fact that Agamemnon was like that, and he was all like armored up, and then underneath it's Benny Safdie, who does not have a very intimidating appearance normally. Friends and I dream about them making an Iliad prequel, and they could. Iliad would work better as a Game of Thrones show. I don't necessarily know. I think part of the thing. The funny thing to me about the Iliad is that, you know, it's only a very small part of the actual Trojan War. It's basically just the story, and, Suze, you probably know more than me, so correct, or off the top of our heads, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the Iliad is basically just, Achilles, you know, not wanting to fight, and then Patroclus getting himself killed, and then him killing Hector. And then all these other sort of... And, like, we don't have anything else. We don't have any other surviving poems that are actually depicting the Trojan War, so it's all, like, inferred from other records, including what references are made in the Iliad and the Odyssey. But, like, the movie Troy is not really an Iliad adaptation. It is partly that, and partly also other stuff from the Trojan War that we know about from other things. Yeah, pretty much it's the last year of the 10-year war, I believe. Yeah, and also because it ends before the sacking of Troy, so, you know. You see a scarred man with several days' stubble, chewing an unlit cigar as he scans over a map. He curses and leans over to a trumpet-like apparatus sprouting from the wall. Attention reserves, shift, Zeta Patrol is late. I want a relief party ready in 36 minutes. Huang out. As he speaks, you can faintly hear his magically amplified words booming across the camp outside the window. The Trojan horse, if I remember correctly, is in the Iliad, not the Odyssey. Oh, okay. I thought that the Iliad ended before that. But anyway. Yeah, so giving orders through a megaphone. He turns to you with a scowl. What's this now, a tourist? Afraid we'll have to skip the grand tour. Or are you going to tell me you took a wrong turn? I'm looking for someone who might have come through here. Trojan horse is mentioned in the Odyssey. The Iliad ends before that happens. Okay. So Alex is saying I'm right. Argue it out amongst yourselves. He eyes you dubiously. Are you now? I've got bad news. If your friend ended up in the corrupted lands, odds are there's not much left of him. Let's get one thing straight, Sunshine. I'm cleanup leader Huang, and this is my cleanup crew. That means every cunt here follows my rules and obeys my orders no matter what some shite for brains tinker from Ferropolis says. Clear? Now why the hell are you in my office? I'm looking for a missing child. Huang listens to your story, shaking his head. So you came all this way for nothing. Finding a single person among the corrupted, let alone their name? It's pure bonkers. Corruption warps most things beyond recognition. If this kid got absorbed into a canker mass, they've not even got a body anymore. Sometimes individual corrupted ones have traces of their old selves, clothes, tattoos, and the like, but that's rare. Could I get a closer look at these corrupted ones in the cage? Huang takes his cigar out of his mouth. You're a real specimen, aren't you? Be my guest if your life's that cheap. Cleanup worker Cohen's our resident monster expert, so if you've got other questions, ask them. Huang leans over to the speaking trumpet again. Attention, cleanup worker Cohen! Attention, Cohen! Let this weird-looking scunner into the cage, will ya? Huang out. It is all easy to get mixed up. The Odyssey mentions a lot of other stories, some we know elsewhere, but some only exist in the Odyssey. Yeah. Imperfect historical records, and, the impermanence of the records we do have. You're Cohen, right? Huang said I could look inside the cage. They size you up. That was you, eh? I suppose you are kind of weird-looking. No offense. Go on in, then. It's your funeral. Not that you get a funeral, mind. Yeah, I am weird-looking. I'm completely transparent. You feel the clockwork into your skull grind into furious motion as it translates the corrupted one's speech. Beginning at the end for want of finitude, aporia, only the fact if you please. Alas, threshing engine 3 cannot be saved. Why won't you listen? In catatonic bustle, round and round. Congratulations, you have been accepted. Away, haul away, we'll haul away together into Royal Project Horoscope. Alas, threshing engine 3 has suffered yearning unbefitting of its station. Bastards, useless fucking bastards, edict, no one listens. Show it Oleg's locket. Do you recognize this? Are this guy's joints okay? No, they're not. It stares at the locket as if hypnotized. Limerence. Pa. We found the missing child. The corrupted one becomes visibly agitated in its movements and speech. Edict, stop slouching, water trickling gently through the park. Please listen. Alas, fault and status check. Unlatch, reseat. He loves you, dearie, even if he doesn't show it. Alas, cannot exist. Subject, thy petition is hereby granted. Please listen. Entreaty, we are sorry to inform. What happened to you? Denied and thrice denied. Attention all workers, this is a disaster warning. I kept meaning to write before only. Petition, soil then hang thyself. Unlatch, reseat. Alas, in accordance with Project Horoscope parameters, please listen. Can you tell me your name? Dear Pa, I am writing to tell you, clean each crystal head thrice daily until, record of fault, help us we are lost and enclose this locket, which I hope shall always remind you. Please listen. Edict, all prior common names are hereby annulled and shall be as dust. Come on, we have to go. Sincerely, your loving daughter, Afra Mishkin. Did you just say Afra? As in Chief Interpreter Afra? It's not clear whether she can understand you. Attention, please evacuate immediately for your own, so we'll no more go a-roving. Please help us. Alas, cannot exist. Afra, there's no time. Unlatch, reseat. Alright, well... I knew it. Did you really, Alex? Did you really know it? And what did you know? That, Alright, yeah, let's, a new vote, Do we give Oleg's locket, to Afra Branch 0, or do we keep the locket to give to Oleg? To be fair, I don't think she could get that much use out of it, but... Afra's like the only girl in the King's Court. That is true. I guess when I first played, I was surprised by this because I didn't expect us to actually meet Branch 5. I didn't think that was like...
I figured that was just going to be like a background detail rather than another character that we would be expected to meet or have met, you know? Because, like, yeah, with that logic, obviously, if you're thinking, oh, is the fifth one someone we know, then obviously it is Afra. But if you're just thinking, oh, I guess it's just some off-screen NPC or whatever, yeah. Give for that's Father, I say take it back to him. All right. Any objections? Otherwise, I will go with Alex. Alex, you may be running unopposed this time. All right. Let's give it back to him. You've done what Oleg asked of you, and he'll be waiting to hear what you found. But perhaps first you should try to learn the whole truth. What was the purpose of Project Horoscope? What role did it play in Afra Mishkin's fate, and how was she connected to other Afra that you met before? The only one who could answer these questions is the man whose name was stamped all over the horoscope files, Sunil Khan, the King's Speaker. How'd you get on in there? That last one looked like it wanted to make a proper mess of you. You didn't tell me the Corrupted spoke sixfold cipher. Sixfold? You mean you understood that gobbledygook? Oh, I see it now. You've got one of those fancy machinist skull implants. Hope you had an edifying dialogue. Do the machinists know how to talk to these things? Sort of. There was this cog who visited last year. Spent hours listening to him, taking notes. Never seen anyone write so fast. He had one of those implants, too. He was pretty tight-lipped, but I gathered he didn't learn much. Said it was like talking to a lunatic, one of those big insects that mimics your voice. They're saying words, but there's no deeper meaning. Sound and fury, innit? One of them told me her name. I think she was asking me for help. Cohen looks perturbed. Its name? You sure you heard that right? That's definitely weird. Suppose that supports my vestigial memory theory, assuming it wasn't just some name it heard around the camp. Look, I know it's unsettling, but they do this sometimes. The local machinist we saw here thought it was some sort of reflex action, like rigor mortis. Try not to lose too much sleep over it, eh? You know, if this was a voice game, it would be cool to have mutant monsters to go from nonsense to understandable. Yeah, that would be... That they probably would do that. Either... I guess not necessarily, actually. There is a possibility that they won't do that, and they would just make subtitles understandable. Like, that's what they do with, you know, most conlangs that you're supposed to understand in games. It's what they do with the Al Bhed language in Final Fantasy X, if I'm remembering correctly. And I say remembering correctly, I still haven't played it, but if I remember correctly from footage that I've seen. Corrupted seem to recognize my locket. That's uncommon, but not unknown. Sometimes they seem to be attracted to particular places. Houses, town squares, ruined mountains. My theory is that some of them retain vestigial memories of their life. Okay, yeah. Thank you for your time. Stay safe, Cohen. And maybe you want to close that door behind me, right? What do we got here? Ooh. Ah, alright. Gnome hat. Return to me, gnome hat. So, still not a full delusion. Alright. Yeah, so that is the way to progress, if I'm not mistaken. You know what? I think what I want to do is Go back to the city. Talk to Sunil. And then... Is there no other way in? Talk to Sunil. Talk to... talk to... the, talk to Reza. And then we can save going to progress and finding whatever memories of Caxton's are there for later, because we're approaching 2.5 hours. And I am beginning to tire. Right. Yeah, let's go to you first. Speak quickly, citizen. My time is in high demand. Why is there a giant teapot in the sky? No need to be alarmed. Our best minds are investigating the apparition. In the meantime, carry on with your business. Let's have a little chat about Project Horoscope. Sunil narrows his eyes at you. Am I meant to recognize that name? You're telling me there was some other Sunil Khan's name all over the project files? Sunil looks at you with a hint of surprise the first time you've seen him off balance. How did you... You tell Sunil what you discovered about Oleg's daughter, Afra. When you're finished, he sighs. My, you have been inquisitive. Where loyalty's not so obviously suspect, you might even have made a good interpreter. So, what is it you imagine you will get from me? I just want to know the truth. The things recorded in the Library of Untruths are fictions. They never happened. We are discussing imaginary hypotheticals, do you understand? Sure, this is only a fairy tale. Oddly, Sunil smiles. In a certain land, in a certain kingdom, very far away from here, yes, quite so. In a certain land, there was a king with magical powers. One day, the king's retainers asked if he could use his magic to transform people into their best selves. The king agreed, but first ordered a test. The king's retainers would scour the land to find 6 people who between them embodied all its variation in character and temperament. The king would then multiply each candidate 6-fold, changing every copy in a different way. The original candidates would remain unchanged to see what happened when the king did nothing, and so, to keep the test pure, the king would make all 36 subjects forget they were ever part of it. Is that why the king wouldn't grant Oleg's daughter's wishes? There is no Oleg in this tale, but yes, the fictional king we are discussing could not allow the original 6 subjects to be magically altered in any way, lest the experiments become tainted. The 6th candidate, Afra, was wild and disobedient, showing little promise. Yet it was one of their copies, the 6th, in fact, who proved wisest of all. And so the king was satisfied and began using his magic to create many more good and faithful subjects. It was a great sorrow when the original Afra was consumed by a plague unleashed by the king's enemies, but eventually the plague was defeated and everyone, or almost everyone, lived happily ever after. So, there ends the fairy tale, and there ends your telling of it if you wish for a happy ending of your own. Is this how the corruption started with Project Horoscope? Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? You gave your king the power to alter people. Then people began turning into monsters. Don't you think that's a bit suspicious? Sunil examines you silently for some time. You must think you're very clever indeed. Like a child who sees a house burned down and believes the wood is to blame. That the corruption is entangled with the king's powers of alteration is trivially true, and the guild has never denied it.
The real question is, who or what is thwarting those powers' correct operation? But it is abundantly clear that you know nothing of the king's magic, and I have better things to do than indulge the misapprehensions of children. Very well, that's all. Are we finished here? I'll leave you to your work. Where is the teapot? Because I did not actually... There it is. There's the giant teapot in the sky. Alright, is Afra... Oh, no. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk to her yet. Oleg is... this way. This man looks far more funny than I expected. We have seen him before. He's the one who brought us to the king. The first time. But, yeah, he's got a big hat and a big beard. You find Oleg absorbed in some kind of word puzzle. He is sober, but when he glances up, you see bags under his eyes. You again. Have you come to throw in the towel? I found your daughter. Her name was Afra. Oleg stares at you for a long time without visible emotion. You're trying to scam me. You just picked that out of some book you read. Yeah, she'd be 36 this year. She worked on a farm in Istrik. She wanted to come home to Ferropolis, but the king denied her. She wanted to go to technical school, but they sent her to a factory. Then they took away her medicine, so she got fired. She asked the king to change her body, but it refused. At one point, she got arrested for wearing the wrong clothes. She'd be 36 this year. She worked on a farm in Istrik. Oleg looks at the wall. He starts to reach for a bottle, then stops. Afra. What kind of name is that? Must have been Genevieve's idea. I would never have chosen it. I mean, is Afra a unisex name? I assume she changed it herself. But maybe it is gender neutral. Well, you use the past tense, so I assume it is not good news. Actually, it's complicated. You tell Oleg the whole story, from the cleanup camp to your confrontation with Sunil. At one point, his hands begin shaking, so he hides them in his lap. I had suspicions, of course, that my forgetting was no accident. We all know the guild changes people, normal people, not just crooks and saboteurs. If you are observant, you can see signs everywhere, only you can never be sure who is safe to tell. He shakes his head. Special project. I guess I ought to feel honored. They should have looked after her, given her an easy job, a pension, at least a fucking medal. Well then, do you still have my locket? Yeah, here it is. He takes the locket gingerly in both hands, as if afraid of breaking it, and bows his forehead against it for what feels like an eternity. Oleg looks up at you, clearly struggling for words. The way this ended is no fault of yours. You've given me answers. I am in your debt. Wait a minute, this isn't over. Oleg's expression turns sour. What now? Can a man not be left to grieve in peace? There are versions of your daughter that survived. Don't you want to meet them? I'm happy for them, but they are not my daughters. You say they were altered by magic? Then they are new people. If they are anyone's children, they are the king's. Let its majesty look for them, if it wants. Now please, no more questions. What else is there to say? I mean, I don't think I want to say either of those things. I mean, this is technically true, but... I don't want to kick him while he's down. A debt like this can never be made square, but let me at least give you a down payment. This key was kindly donated by a smuggler we picked up, in a polite and civil conversation. He told us that it unlocked a stolen freight capsule jettisoned from his ship while flying over one of those outlying islands nobody visits. The island is only reachable by air, but you can bet there's treasure in that capsule. It was going to be my retirement plan until somehow the key vanished from our stockpile. Oh well, happens all the time. And now I must ask one more favor. Not for me, but for my daughter. Take this candle to the missing persons notice board after dark. Light it, and let that be an end. Don't you want to be there when I light it? I will find my own kind of ceremony. Some things must be done properly, that is all. Farewell, Oleg. Oleg says nothing. You leave him sitting in his cold little apartment, absorbed in his puzzle. Oh, bye Platooey. For some reason, my eyes skipped over that. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, Platooey. Probably already gone, but still. Okay, where is Reza? I know. Is it here? No. I know. If I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the. Oh, okay. There she is. You see a middle-aged person with light brown skin and an eye patch, dressed in an eclectic patchwork of colorful fabrics. You can't quite figure out their gender, which seems deliberate. Why, hello there, child. Come to browse? Who are you? The name is Reza, child. Fortune teller, trinket vendor, and listener on many grapevines. Okay, so they. For a price, I can sell you talismans of luck and protection, or perhaps even give a little advice about your problems. What kind of problems do you mean? Everyone's problems are different, child. To truly help a person, there must be trust, I'm new here, and this place terrifies and confuses me. I'd be glad for your guidance. They examine you, then their expression softens. I'm sorry, child, I can only imagine. This is not a good place for travelers, is it? Everyone must deal with a king now and then. In my long life, I'm lucky to have learned a little of its majesty's ways, so I help people with their problems as best I can. Nothing illegal, just advice. I can coach you to file an appeal that the guild will treat as high priority. Diagnose misfiring magic in your building's heating engine. Interpret a royal proclamation you can't make sense of, perhaps even point you towards a friendly machinist. I never cheat, no. I only help people find the path where everyone ends up happy. So you see, child, I too, in my own way, am a servant of the king. Actually, I had a confusing encounter with the king just recently. They listened to your tale. Oh, my child, quite an ordeal, Show me your hand. Reza traces their bony fingers gently along the lines of your palm, humming a hypnotic tune and swinging a cipher-inscribed vacuum tube back and forth on a sprocket chain. The king has sensed that a terrible destiny stalks behind you, matching your step. You chase a strange star. Your quarry seeks to exhume the grave of history and rewrite the music of time. Perhaps its majesty believes you have a role to play here in the kingdom, too. They release your hand, smiling kindly. Or perhaps it is a mistake. The king does make them, you know. What are you selling? Why, charms and trinkets to attract the favor of the Clockwork King, or ward off its majesty's displeasure. Look here. This cogwheel was plucked from the king's own belly, inscribed with sacred six-fold cipher. Worn around your neck, it will grant you fortune at summoning stations. Or this incense. Burn it while you write a petition to the king, and it shall speed your request. Do you see anything else that interests you? I'm looking for the 7th letter. The gaudy trader squints at you, then glances left and right to check nobody is listening. They beckon you closer. Who told you to come here? Were you followed? Misha sends his greetings. Good. They appraise you with their remaining eye. So you are the one who's been helping Afra. I see she's got your head stuffed with clockwork like a good little machinist. Tell me, did she explain what a cranial moderator does? Morozov mentioned a few side effects. Migraines, seizures. Ha, I'm sure. Then nobody warned you how a cranial moderator warps your thinking? Smooths out any irrational notions? Makes you look at the world like a machinist, seeing everything as a puzzle you can solve? The biggest changes will take a few years, but mark my words, they will come. That is why I got rid of mine. You used to be a machinist too? Yes, for many years. I even wrote some of the cipher magic that lets the king alter people, so I speak with authority when I say that countless lives depend on you defying Afra's plan. Alright, I'm listening. Don't misunderstand me. Afra is a sweet girl. We were very close once. She absolutely believes she is doing the right thing. Sadly for all of us, she is wrong. Look around you, child. See how we are all at the mercy of this infernal machine which not even the machinists can control. Can you honestly say that what we need is more Clockwork King? However brilliant Afra's spell may be, it cannot fix the problems with the king, because the king is the problem. What's your alternative? Reza flashes you a crooked grin and hands you something heavy wrapped in colorful rags. I'm glad you asked. This is a different kind of spell. Inserted in place of Afra's, it will trigger a runaway fault cascade that gradually, but irrevocably, shuts down the king with minimum destruction. So you're this mystery villain I keep hearing about. They smile cryptically. There's no such person as the saboteur, child. Only a group of like-minded people who love this land, and see no good in leaving its fate to an overgrown grandfather clock. So, do we understand each other? Or is there more you would know? About your spell? What about it, child? What's so dangerous about Afra's spell? Afra's had these plans for a long time. She used to stay up so late, bouncing wild ideas back and forth. She believes she has been lucky, and wants the same for others. I admire that about her, truly. But ask her this. Under her plan, will people really be free to choose whatever changes they want? Or will there be a limit? Will the king be neutral on what changes we make, or will it have a bias? Afra is a child of the guild. She believes in her soul that if she keeps tinkering, she can design a perfect system. If only she understood how much they have stolen from her. Everyone here depends on the king. If you kill it, many people will die. They grimace. I won't pretend otherwise. There will be chaos and much suffering, and certainly death. I only ask you to consider how many more could die if you keep the king in place. We will never know how many people the king has altered to make them better workers. My former colleagues saw people's baser instincts as an impediment to progress, so they chose to scrap the people and build another. But child, in my trade, you learn a lot about people. Most folk want to help each other. It is this vile contraption breathing down their necks that stops them, making us fear each other, envy each other, denounce each other for one more day's bread. Without the king, our fate will rest again upon each other's shoulders. There's no work of cipher that I trust more than that. It's all we really have and all we need. Let me ask you about you and your cause. I will tell you whatever I can without endangering my comrades. The machinists say you're the reason for the king's problems. Reza snorts. Hogwash. Child, I know what the king is made of. I could recite every syllable of its cipher nucleus by heart, although to do so would be most unwise. Do we sabotage the king when we believe it will do good? Certainly. Do we divert royal goods to distribute fairly in our communities? Yes, sometimes. But are we the root of the king's madness? Don't make me laugh. We could toil for decades and cause fewer faults than the king itself generates before breakfast. Only a truly stupid machinist could believe that we are anything more than an excuse for their failures. You were a machinist too. What makes you any better than Afra? Reza grins crookedly. Now you are asking the right questions. Yes, I accept my share of blame for the mess this kingdom is in. Luckily, I do not work alone. Although this spell was drafted by my hands, it is the work of many minds. Most of my comrades, whom you will never meet, are ordinary layfolk. I pledge my magic to serve them, not the other way around. Do you know why I was chosen to give you this punch card? Because I'm the most expendable. The machinists already know very well who I am. Why did you leave the Machinists Guild? They sigh deeply. Child, did you ever hear that old fairy tale about the boy who got a splinter of a mirror in his eye? That made him cold and cruel, seeing only the worst in things? The king wields unimaginable power, far too much for any one being. In my youth, I thought that this made the guild more important, that we had a duty to use such power wisely. But when you make so many life or death decisions every day, when you see people's darkest secrets piled up in stacks every morning in the royal archives like so many freshly cut logs, you grow numb to it. You forget what the stakes are. I did not like what I saw reflected in my colleagues' eyes, or in my own. Very well, I will consider what you've said. That's all I ask, child. Don't trust Afra, and don't trust me either. Just do what you think is right. The Snow Queen? Maybe there's some overlap there. Welcome, Alexander. I'm afraid you've joined right at the end here. Because I think, not to interrupt too much flow of, you know, this web of the Clockwork King's conspiracy, but I do think that finishing that next week, and then also going to deal with Caxton and that whole deal. I think that should be a reasonably extensive. Oh, good. My house renovations are here. Should be a reasonably extensive set of events. And then we'll see what else. Yeah, here's the library. Temporary buff to agility. Alright. Yeah, alright. I will now rest my throat from all the voice acting. Thank you everyone who joined, and I'll see you at the next one. Next one of these should be next Wednesday, and then Saturday, Jade Empire, as I've been doing. So, stop by and have a good one.